Welcome, dear listener. Tonight, I invite you to close your eyes, breathe gently, and allow your mind to drift far, far away. Far from the worries of today, far from the noise of the world around you, and into a softer time, a quieter place, a place where myths, magic, and dreams come alive. Imagine yourself beneath the wide and starry sky, the night air warm yet touched with a gentle breeze, the sound of cicadas in the distance, the scent of olive groves drifting through the air. This is ancient Greece, a land where gods and mortals share the same world, where the sea crashes against rocky cliffs and temples of marble gleam beneath the silver light of the moon. Tonight, we will wander softly through one of the greatest tales of this land, the story of Athena, the goddess of wisdom, of strategy, of crafts, and of reason. But tonight, her story is not told with thunder or with war. It is told gently, as a tale to carry you into sleep. So let us begin. Long ago, before Athens was a city, before Greece was crowned with temples, the gods ruled from their shining thrones upon Mount Olympus. Among them was mighty Zeus, king of the gods. His power was unmatched, his voice like thunder. Yet even he was sometimes troubled by dreams and prophecies. One such prophecy whispered that his firstborn child, with the goddess Metis, the goddess of clever thought, would be greater than him, not just strong, but wise, not just powerful, but enduring. Zeus, fearing the words of destiny, swallowed Metis whole, believing he could keep her and her child inside himself forever. But the will of fate is never so easily bound. And within Zeus, Metis continued to weave plans, and the child she carried grew. Days turned to nights, and Zeus began to feel a strange pain, a pressure within his mind, as though a thought too great for words was trying to emerge. The other gods looked on with concern. Zeus, the thunderer, clutching his head, crying out with agony that even he could not control. And then, with a cry that echoed like lightning splitting the sky, it happened. From the very crown of Zeus's head sprang forth a goddess. Not an infant, small and helpless, but a shining woman, fully grown, draped in a robe of gleaming silver, a golden helmet upon her brow, and in her hand a spear that glowed with the light of thought itself. She was Athena, not born of earth, nor of a mother's womb, but of wisdom itself, bursting forth from the mind of a god. The other Olympians gasped in wonder. Here was no ordinary child, but a goddess radiant with calm strength. Her eyes shone with clarity, like still waters reflecting the stars. And though she bore armor, she did not raise her spear to strike. Instead, she lowered it, resting it softly upon the ground. For Athena was not born for destruction. She was born for balance, for wisdom, for guiding hands and thoughtful hearts. From the moment she stepped into the world, Athena carried with her a sense of calm purpose. The owl flew to her shoulder, symbol of watchfulness and quiet thought, and the olive tree, rooted deep within the earth, sprang up at her feet, its leaves shimmering like silver in the moonlight. The gods knew then that Athena was unlike any among them. Where Ares roared with the lust for war, Athena saw beyond the battlefield, to strategy, to planning, to the art of protecting rather than destroying. Where Aphrodite inspired passion, Athena brought clarity, a love not of fleeting desire, but of knowledge, of learning, of discovery. And where Zeus himself ruled with power and command, Athena offered counsel, the gentle balance of thought to steady the hand of strength. Now, dear listener, before we go further, let us pause here together. Take a slow breath, in and out. Feel the calmness of Athena's presence, gentle, wise, and unshaken. As you breathe, imagine her standing upon the heights of Olympus, her silver robes flowing in the mountain breeze, her eyes as calm as the night sky. She is the guardian of thought, the protector of reason, and tonight she is your guide into dreams. And so, with Athena's birth, a new chapter began in the stories of Olympus. But her tale was only just beginning, for soon she would shape cities, guide heroes, and leave her mark on both gods and mortals alike. But that we will explore in the next part of her dreamy tale. Long after her sudden, radiant birth, Athena found her place in the shining realm of Olympus. The mountain, veiled in drifting clouds, stood like a throne of the earth itself, its peaks kissed by the endless sky. Imagine yourself ascending gently, higher and higher, where the air grows thinner and the world below fades to silence. Up here, the home of the gods glows with a brilliance not of sunlight alone, but of something eternal. Great marble halls shimmer, polished so smooth they reflect the stars above. Gardens bloom in impossible colors, their flowers soft and fragrant, their petals humming faintly with divine energy. And from every corner, streams of golden light flow like quiet rivers, filling Olympus with peace. Among these wonders walks Athena. Unlike the fiery steps of Ares or the boastful stride of Apollo, her movement is calm, steady, full of quiet confidence. Every god and goddess knows her presence, not through thunder, not through song, but through a stillness that makes them pause. She is wisdom embodied, and wherever she walks, thought itself seems to breathe. There were times when storms would rage in the council of gods. Ares, the god of war, would rise with furious eyes, demanding more conflict, more strife, more blood to honor him. Yet when Athena stood, her silver-gray gaze steady, her voice soft yet unshakable, the fire in Ares's chest would falter. Her wisdom was not just knowledge, but balance. She was the reminder that war could be fought, but it must never consume. In the golden forges of Olympus, Hephaestus, the divine smith, hammered metal that rang like thunder. Sparks flew in showers, lighting his vast cavern. Often Athena came to him. She stood beside the firelight, watching as he shaped shields, helmets, and swords. "Guide my hands," he would murmur,
for Athena's wisdom gave shape to his craft. And so the spear she carried, the shield she bore, were not only weapons, but creations of balance. Reminders that even in war, wisdom should guide the hand. And so her symbols grew. First, the owl, the silent hunter of the night. Its amber eyes gleamed with knowledge deeper than words. Mortals looked at the owl and saw mystery, the unseen, the quiet truth that watched when all else slept. Then, the olive tree, a gift that touched both gods and men. Imagine standing before its silver-green leaves shimmering beneath a starlit sky. Its roots stretch deep into rocky soil, drinking from the earth. Its branches rise high, offering fruit that feeds, oil that burns gently and lamps, wood that warms hearths and builds homes. To mortals, the olive was more precious than gold. It was life, peace, and endurance, and so it became hers. The spear, sharp and gleaming, stood for her ability to act, not blindly, not in rage, but with reason. And the shield, polished like a mirror, stood for protection, a reminder that wisdom guards as indeed it guides. But her greatest symbol was not carved in marble or forged in bronze. It was a place, the Parthenon, the grand temple that rose above the city of Athens centuries later. White marble glowing like frozen starlight, it was more than stone. It was a promise, a city's devotion to wisdom, balance, and truth. As the night deepens, imagine yourself walking through Olympus itself. You wander beneath archways carved with golden vines, through gardens filled with olive groves that sway softly in a wind that never tires. You hear the gentle rustling of leaves, the quiet hoot of an owl perched above, its gaze upon you, watchful but calm. Step closer and see Athena standing there. Her silver robe gleams faintly in the starlight, her spear resting beside her, her shield at her feet. Yet her face is not stern nor distant. She smiles, just faintly, as though sharing a secret you already carry in your heart. Breathe deeply. Let the silence of Olympus fill you, as though the mountain itself were wrapping you in peace. Rest here among her symbols, knowing that wisdom itself is a companion, a guardian, a light. And so in every owl that watches, in every olive branch that grows, in every act of protection and reason, Athena endures. Her symbols live not only in myth, but in every quiet moment of balance within you. Sleep now, gently, as the garden of Olympus sways, as the stars shimmer high above, and as the goddess of wisdom walks beside you. When the gods looked down upon the world of mortals, they often chose places, lands, and cities to bless as their own. And so it came to pass that a fertile land by the Aegean Sea drew the eyes of two mighty deities. This land was beautiful beyond measure. Imagine it with me now. Rolling green hills melting into rocky cliffs, the deep blue sea stretching endlessly, and golden light spilling across the earth like honey. The breezes were warm, carrying the scent of salt and wild thyme. It was a place with promise, a place where people would gather, build, and dream. And it was here that two gods longed to plant their names forever. Poseidon, god of the sea,
master of storms and waves, and Athena, goddess of wisdom, protector of thought and craft. Only one could be chosen, and so began the contest.
The people of that land gathered in a clearing of pale marble stones. Imagine yourself among them now, sandals brushing the dust, voices hushed in awe. All eyes turned to the sky, for the gods themselves were about to appear. First came Poseidon. His presence was like a storm contained in human form. His hair, wild and rolling, shimmered like dark waves beneath moonlight. His eyes, deep and restless, flashed with the same power that pulled tides. He carried his mighty trident, a weapon carved with the strength of oceans, a tool of storms and earthquakes. As he strode forward, the ground beneath him trembled. Even the air thickened, as if afraid of the weight of his power. He lifted the trident high, then struck it deep into the earth. The stone split. From the crack, water roared upward, bursting into a shining fountain. The people gasped. A spray of salty mist cooled their faces as the fountain grew, tall and untamed, a pillar of ocean on dry land. The gift was astonishing. The water shimmered, alive with energy, whispering of great voyages and powerful storms. To drink from the fountain was to taste the endless seas. But as the people cupped the water in their hands, they winced. The water was sharp with salt, beautiful but undrinkable. Useful for ships, perhaps, but not for life itself. The crowd murmured. The gift was mighty, yes, but restless, harsh, like the god who had given it.
Then Athena stepped forward. Her presence was steady, calm, and luminous. She did not roar like a storm, but radiated a quiet strength, the kind that lasts. Her robe shimmered with silver glow, as if threads of starlight had been woven into the fabric. She bent gracefully, her hand brushing the ground. From the soil, a tiny shoot emerged. Slowly, before the people's eyes, it grew taller. A slender trunk stretched upward. Branches spread, and leaves unfolded, shimmering silver green, as though kissed by the moon. An olive tree, its branches bent with fruit, small and dark. The people pressed the olives, and from them flowed golden oil, warm, gentle, and rich. The oil could light lamps through the night. It could cook food, soothe wounds, and trade with distant lands. This gift was not a roar of power. It was a promise, a gift that nourished, healed, and endured. The people knelt before the tree, whispering their gratitude. And so they chose Athena. From that day, the city was named Athens, a shining jewel of Greece, crowned with wisdom and blessed with peace. And Athena's olive tree stood at its heart, roots deep in the soil, branches high in the sky, eternal as the goddess herself.
But Athena's story in Athens did not end with the tree. She walked beside mortals, kings, artisans, and warriors, lending her wisdom when courage alone was not enough. When Perseus faced the dreadful Gorgon, Medusa, whose gaze could turn any man to stone, Athena was there. She placed in his hand a polished shield, gleaming like a mirror. "Do not look upon her directly," she whispered, her voice like wind through olive leaves, "but through the reflection." Perseus listened. With Athena's wisdom, he struck true, and the terror of Medusa was ended. Now, imagine this moment. The cave dim and cold, the air heavy with silence. Perseus standing, breath quickened, shield shining with divine light. And beside him, unseen by others, Athena's spirit, calm and steady, guiding his hand. When Odysseus was lost at sea, far from home, Athena watched over him. Storms battered his ship, winds tore his sails, and despair clung to the hearts of his men. But Athena whispered into Odysseus's dreams. Clever thoughts stirred within him. Ways to endure, ways to lead. Through her wisdom, he crossed waters that would have swallowed lesser men. Picture yourself aboard his vessel. The night sky stretched wide above, stars scattered like silver dust. The sea churns, restless and dark. Yet there is a soft glow, Athena's faint light upon the waves, guiding the ship forward through shadow and storm. And when Theseus entered the labyrinth, seeking the monstrous Minotaur, it was not brute strength that saved him. It was clarity of mind, a gift of Athena.
Ariadne's thread guided his steps, yes, but it was Athena's quiet encouragement that filled his heart with courage. Her wisdom whispered that no maze is unconquerable when the mind is steady and sharp.
So Athena blessed not only heroes, but all of Athens. She watched as poets wrote verses that glowed like fireflies. She guided philosophers as they sought truth beneath starlight. She inspired artisans, builders, and statesmen, all who shaped the city with thought and balance. Close your eyes now and imagine yourself walking through Athens in its golden age. The sun is setting, and the marble columns of the Acropolis shimmer with hues of rose and gold. Olive groves stretch across the hills, their leaves whispering in the evening breeze. The streets are alive with gentle sounds, merchants calling softly, children laughing, musicians plucking strings that echo into the twilight. And at the highest point of the city, her temple rises, the Parthenon, glowing in torchlight. It is her crown, her gift, her promise. Beneath her gaze, the people thrive. And even now, across centuries, her presence lingers, calm, wise, eternal.
Let her wisdom wrap around you like a cloak of silver light. Let the olive leaves murmur above you, and let your heart rest, safe, steady, eternal, in the city of Athens, under the care of Athena.
The night deepens now, and so too does our journey into the tale of Athena. Not just as a goddess of battles or of contests, but as a weaver of wisdom, of craft, and of dreams. Close your eyes gently as I guide you further. Breathe deeply, as though inhaling the silver light of the moon. Exhale slowly, letting the weight of the day drift away. This part of Athena's story is not loud or thundering. It is quiet, patient, a story best heard as one drifts softly toward sleep. In the high halls of Olympus, Athena was known not only for her mind, but for her hands. She carried with her always a loom, wooden, carved and strung with threads of silver and gold. It was said that she wove with moonlight itself, binding strands of knowledge into cloth that shimmered like the night sky. When she worked, the other gods would pause to watch, for in each pattern she created was a story, a lesson, a reminder. Imagine her now, seated quietly at her loom, the gentle clack of wood against wood, steady and rhythmic, the threads sliding, whispering as they cross, back and forth, weaving not cloth alone, but meaning itself. Her hands were calm, her gaze serene, and the fabric she shaped caught the glow of starlight,
as though each design carried the wisdom of the heavens.
But mortals too sought her gifts, and among them none was more famous than a young woman named Arachne. Arachne was a weaver, a mortal with hands so skilled that her work seemed almost divine. She could weave the finest silks into patterns that captured sunlight, moonlight, and the very movement of the world. Her fame spread across the land until whispers reached Athena herself. Arachne, bold and proud, claimed that her skill surpassed even the goddess. And so Athena, in the guise of an old woman, came to her. "Child," she said softly, "humility is a greater ornament than pride. Honor the gods, and your gift will endure." But Arachne laughed. "Old mother, my weaving is flawless. Even Athena herself could not surpass me." And so Athena revealed her true form, bright and radiant, clad in armor of silver light. "Then let us weave," she declared. And so the contest began. Imagine the scene now. Two looms side by side, one of mortal wood, one of divine silver. The air alive with the whisper of threads, the clack of shuttles, the endless rhythm of weaving. Arachne's tapestry was breathtaking. She wove stories of gods with flaws, of deceptions and loves, of mistakes hidden in heaven's halls. Her work was bold, truthful, and dazzling. Athena's tapestry shone with grace. She wove the glory of Olympus, the harmony of the divine, the balance between wisdom and strength. Her work carried not only beauty, but purpose. When both were done, the crowd marveled. Both were perfect. But Arachne had mocked the gods with her pride. And so Athena touched her gently, with pity rather than rage. "You are skilled, but unwise. Pride is a thread that unravels the strongest cloth." And Arachne was transformed, her form shrinking, limbs lengthening, until she became the first spider, forever weaving, forever spinning, yet no longer human. It is said that Athena blessed even this form, so the skill would not vanish, but live on in every spider's web, delicate, intricate, eternal. Now, close your eyes and imagine a spider's web glistening in the dawn light. Each thread strung with dew like beads of crystal. It is not punishment, you see, but a reminder that skill without humility is fragile, but wisdom endures.
Athena was also known as a guide of dreams, for when mortals lay down to sleep, she would sometimes walk softly into their slumber, bringing visions not of terror, but of clarity. Let us walk such a dream together now. You lie upon soft ground, beneath a sky jeweled with stars. The air is cool, touched with the scent of olive leaves. A gentle glow spreads across the horizon, though the sun is not yet rising. From the shadows she appears, Athena, tall and calm, her owl upon her shoulder. Her eyes are steady, pools of moonlit wisdom. She reaches out a hand. "Come," she says, her voice like a soft breeze. "Walk with me." Together, you step into a landscape that shifts and changes like woven fabric. One moment, a field of olive trees, their silver leaves whispering. The next, marble halls of Athens, columns rising high into starlight. Then, a quiet sea, its waves lapping gently against the shore. Athena walks beside you. She speaks not with commands, but with questions. What do you seek? What do you fear? What do you hope to build? And as you answer, slowly, softly in your heart, she listens. Her presence alone steadies you, like a lantern glowing in endless night. At last, you come to a great loom. Threads of starlight stretch across it, shimmering with possibility. Athena gestures. "This is your life," she whispers. "Each choice a thread, each dream a pattern. Weave it with care, weave it with love, and it will endure." Her words linger, like the echo of an owl's wings through twilight.
In Athens, her symbol was the owl. Eyes wide, steady, unblinking. It was said that the owl could see through darkness, perceiving truth when all else was hidden. Close your eyes and imagine an ancient temple now. Torches flickering, casting long shadows across marble walls. The air cool and fragrant with burning oil. Upon the highest beam, an owl rests, its feathers soft as smoke. It watches, it waits, not with judgment, but with wisdom. Athenians believed that when an owl circled above their warriors before battle, Athena herself was present. When an owl called in the night, it was her whisper to those who listened. And so the owl became a symbol not of fear, but of guidance, its gaze a lantern, its call a reminder that wisdom does not sleep, even when the world grows dark.
And so, as our story comes gently to its end, let us return once more to Athena. She was the goddess who did not roar with thunder, but spoke with clarity. The goddess who gave gifts not of fleeting power, but of lasting life. The goddess who walked beside mortals, not to dominate them, but to guide them. Picture her now, standing upon a hill above Athens. The olive trees whisper in the wind. The city below glimmers with torchlight, music, and laughter. And above, the stars crown the sky with silver. She is calm, eternal, watchful.
and her wisdom flows like gentle water, like soft wind, like the steady rhythm of a loom. Rest now under her gaze. Let her owl watch over you. Let her olive tree shelter you. Let her wisdom weave around you until dreams arrive like soft wings in the night. Sleep and sleep well, for you are safe, guided, and blessed in the care of Athena.